Boy, do I have a juicy one for you guys tonight. Where do I start? Let's start with the beginning. So originally, I shared a post basically describing what, these social media Silicon Valley guys are doing, suppressing the truth, blah, blah, blah. And especially on Facebook, because I share stuff all the time. And originally, I was thinking maybe they're doing it because maybe I'm not getting responses from these posts is because people are just afraid. They're just afraid to like it or comment on it because, peer pressure, especially when it comes to criticizing the left and, Trump and all that. So originally I thought it was that. And then when the whole, Biden thing came out, it just became more apparent. I mean, we knew they were suppressing any type of talk, any Trump talk or anti-Democrat talk, or at least revealing the truth. We knew they were doing that. So I just basically showed the proof because I had shared a YouTube video of, I think his name is Salty Cracker. And he basically revealed that everything we know now. If you don't know, now you know, because no news organization is talking about this. No one. Other than Tucker on Fox. So these things about, Hunter Biden and things are coming out. So I shared that video, and in my post, I was describing what happened to me. They blocked, Facebook basically deleted the post. And I was like, oh, what? And I fought it. I was like, no, I'm not letting you guys delete it. They gave options of, do you agree with this decision, blah, blah, blah. I said, no. I said, straight up, you guys made a mistake here. No, this has happened to me once before, and it had to do with celebrities, whatever. But this time I was like, nah, you can't, y'all ain't getting away with this. No. There was nothing wrong with this. And based on what they were doing to the New York Post on Twitter and things of that nature, I was like, you're not doing that to me or the guy I'm sharing this video of. Not happening. So I fought it. And I don't know how, but they allowed it to come back on. The post came back. And I decided to basically share the experience and tell people what happened. Because it's clear that Facebook is one-sided. It's admitted anyway, So, see if I can bring it up here. Here's how I started it off. I said the Facebook timeline is mighty quiet about Biden. And I'm basically calling out everybody who can see that their hate for Trump has them voting to get him out of office just to let a corrupt racist take and fake black woman. You know who that is. Just to get them in. And I'm talking to the black people whoever sees this, friends or whoever comes across my profile, whoever sees this, this is what's happening. And it's a shame because you would rather people, these two people, Biden and Harris, these two people has slavery in their bloodlines, meaning when you trace these people's family, when you trace their family tree back, they've all owned slaves. You do that with Trump, non-existent. Non-existent. That's one thing. And nobody, and all these people complaining about white supremacy and things of that nature, why does this get to slide? And that was my, that was another point I was making with this post. So why doesn't this concern you that Facebook is blocking me, stopping me from sharing this? Why are they protecting people directly, not directly, but indirectly and directly involved with slavery? Because these people, in today's terms of what slavery is, outside of what we know it is the prison system. We consider that modern day slavery. And these two people are directly responsible for this. We already know about Biden's and the Clintons' crime bill, and we know what Kamala Harris has been doing to us, keeping us in prison, despite the evidence, despite how mediocre the crime was, kept us in prison. These people, it's like in their blood to do this to us. Never seen Donald Trump. Mind you, I keep saying this, like in every video, I don't bend the knee to anyone. Trump, it doesn't matter who it is. My point is, like, the truth is right in your face, but you're asking for slavery. And I'm going to use a nerd term here, like straight up and down. Blacks are basically the Borg inside in Star Trek. That's the leftist blacks, I'm saying. They're the Borg. Straight up, they're the Borg. And the rest of us are Starfleet. And we're trying to, keep these people away from us. We're trying, and if you remember Star Trek, especially the Next Generation and Voyager and stuff you try to free these people, get them out of the hive mind. It's not happening. At this point, it's too late because the election's a few days from now. So it's too late to save them. At this point, and I made it clear here and in previous posts that I am not here to change any minds, and I'm not here to argue anymore. I don't argue with these people anymore because we just go in circles. They tend to repeat the same. I've said this in my previous arguing with leftist videos. They tend to argue in circles and ask the same question over and over again, despite you giving that answer. You've given them the answer, they'll still ask the same question and go in circles. So I said, you know what? I'm done. I am not engaging anymore. Whatever I post, hate it or love it, just move on. We ain't discussing shit. Like, at this point, I consider all y'all gone. I'm not changing any minds. My goal here in sharing any of this is to basically show that I've been saying this. Show that I've been saying this, and whomever is basically not knowing what's going on and is listening to the wrong people, or the group think whatever this person says, they must be right because they're your friends or family. If that person happens to see my stuff, they'll see the truth and they'll look for it themselves. They'll research themselves and find it. That was the point. Now, moving along as to why I'm making this video is that, it's just like, if you remember my Cops Be Racist video, I explained, it was about, this altercation between a cop and a black guy. And despite everything I said, the argument was basically, it led to a former teacher. When I think of a teacher or a mentor, I think of them as beyond me, like smarter than me, wiser than me. It happened here. It happened here the same way. Okay, and I'm about to prove it. I'm going to show y'all. It's insane. Right? So, let's go to see more. So I basically warned people about these drones in this post, and I'm showing examples of what these people, like how they think and what they're doing. So however this thing goes, however this election goes, just remember who did it. who did it. Because either way, in my opinion, if we win, they're gonna go insane and just do some crazy shit. And if we lose, all our freedoms are gone. And they'll learn the hard way after it's too late. Right? So my point is, just remember who's doing this and stay away from them. Especially the people who, like, I've experienced myself. Like, I will just post the truth out there and, like, my friends will just drop. Then I realize who it is. I'm like, oh, I don't get hurt by this, by the way. When people unfriend me or unfollow me, I don't get hurt by this. There are people who do. But me personally, I take it as that's a bullet dodge. That person will not have had your back if shit went down. They will be the first one to just either just bend over and pray and let the shit happen to, or just, you know, or they'll just run away and you'll be there to suffer or fend for yourself. These are the people, because you mean to tell you years of knowing this person, years of the so-called respect and friendship, that your opinion, not even just your opinion, let's forget about opinion, because sometimes opinions could, you know, have an adverse effect on who you know. But when you lay down the facts and show proof of things, this is what they do. The truth makes them want to, like, bounce on you. So what's to say that they won't have your back in the future? So that's how I see it. I'm like, nah, I don't want this energy around. I don't want this drone mentality around. If you are the drone and you choose to leave, it's just solidified that you are the drone. So I can just, you save me. You just help me by bouncing. That's how I see it. This does not hurt me. So moving on. And also pointed out that whoever knows me, because this is true, I don't bullshit no one. So that's why I say y'all know me to bullshit or lie. Do you know me to do this? Because I know I don't. Now let's see the only response I got to this. I've gotten likes on it, mind you. It's few, because it's funny. This is what made me think of the whole censorship thing. Because I'll put up a photo of my face or something that has to do with nerdism, you know, likes and comments will just flow in. But when I start showing shit like this, like political and stuff like that, you know, that's when I had to question, okay, do these people, are they seeing it when I do this? Am I being censored, or are they afraid? That's just going back to what I was saying earlier, right? So somehow this person saw it, despite people actually liking what I said, who were brave enough to like what I said, right? This person, teacher, by the way. And mind you, I had respect for this guy. Like, thanks to him, I saw a whole bunch of like Transformers anime that I would never have gotten anywhere else. Like, he was that cool. He was a cool teacher, straight up. I really like this guy. But I guess I triggered him with the truth. So this was his response to me saying that these people are wicked and evil and Trump did nothing, because I haven't seen anything Trump did. So other than the way this man fucking talks, and like, you wish he'd say things that you know he knows that he should say but he doesn't. That shit pisses me off, and the way he talks and shit like that. Like, you're not gonna win any hearts and minds by saying this, you know. That's what I don't like. Okay, but I have not seen anything. Okay, and this is what he comes up with. Him saying teaching racial sensitivity training is racist. Well, I'll say Trump was wrong about that. That's not racist. I said in my response, no, it's let me go to my response to that one in particular. It's not racist, it's retarded. Straight up and down. We're supposed to be adults here. We learn about racism and things of that nature, right? We know these things are wrong already. Do they think it's demeaning? It's not. Trump is wrong. That ain't racist. That ain't racist. It's like demeaning to any grown adult that has to go through a job and go through the sensitivity training. I look at that through the same way I look at you know, when you go through orientation and teach you about sexual harassment and stuff like that. Like, we're all adults here. What do we need to learn this for? Just why do we need to learn? Why do we have to go through this? We got hired, all right? If somebody messes up, they mess up. They gotta go. All right, we need to go through training and pay for this shit. Waste our money on people who are supposed to be adults and know how to deal with this shit and who should know better not to, you know, hurt someone's feelings or get personal or sexually harass somebody. We should know these things already. What we need to spend money on this for? That's how I see it. But that's, you know, but it's a problem that he wants to get rid of it. So right there, right then and there, you're a bitch. You're a bitch. Here we go. That's where your mind is. You're whiny little bitch. Here we go. Ban it. In the workplace is not enough. Okay. Yeah, it's not enough. That's not racist. I'm sorry. That is not racist at all. Get rid of that shit. We're adults. If you want to teach that shit, we're ready to teach that shit in school before we fucking graduate from any level. Not to do these things. Our parents teach us these things. What we need it at work as adults for. Anyway, moving on. Him saying there's no such thing as systematic racism in our policing and court system and government overall isn't enough. Okay. My response was two as in response to the second so-called point is that yes, there is systematic racism, but not the way we perceive it. And I say that because we think of racism when you think about it. I'm sure you've seen these examples on, you know, programs or even YouTube videos where, you know, or in your life when you see these kids play, they don't see race at all. These kids just see somebody that's just probably a lighter hue or darker hue than them, you know, maybe Asian, and they might have a slant eye, but kids are not looking at that and being like, I don't want to be with this person, I don't want to have fun with this person, I don't want to play with this kid. No, that's not where so where does this come from when we get older? Where does this racism come from? It's interesting. It's either, right, their parents instill it into them, or the media. Like, what do we see all the time? What do we have to hear about all the time? And I speak about this in my, you know, when it comes to television shows and movies and stuff like that. You know, I'm into like the DC superhero stuff. I've mentioned this in my Not My Ariel video when it's all about race. Everything's about race, inclusivity and stuff like that. Where do you think this comes from? Isn't it from that when they start pushing color and race in people's faces? You know, when they teach us in school about the civil rights, but don't tell us who was actually the bad guy, who was actually the good guy, where it came from, who ended it, who really ended it, all that stuff. Which party ended it? Systematic. You know where the actual systematic racism is? Not what they show us on TV. It's not from that. It's from the powers that shouldn't be. That's where it's from. The cop shootings and shit like that. It's funny how these things are so convenient to when something like the truth is about to come out. Like about, look at what's going on now with Hunter Biden. What happens? Some black kid gets shot, and now there are riots. And now they're feeding into what the Biden-Harris campaign is trying to do, is that, oh, this guy is racist because look what's happening. The cops are shooting us and we're all dying. So that's how they're going to win the votes. It's funny how this happens. Straight up and down. It's systematic. Systematic because these people are in charge. All right? I will say it right now. All these... I don't care what anyone says. You could call me crazy. You could call me a conspiracy theorist. I don't give a fuck right now. Straight up and down. These cop killings, these killings of us on the streets, majority of them, especially the ones we see pushed on the news, is either pushed way out of proportion, or these are orders from the top to kill these men. to kill our men, just so they could push the agenda, so we could stay divided and argue and fight, especially amongst us, black brethren. That's what I see. Tell me I'm wrong, yo. Tell me I'm wrong, because on the lower level, where is this? You go to a store, you will get these little pockets of racism. Like, for instance, when I'm in when I go to a liquor store or something and it's run by an Asian person, they're pretty prejudiced at first, because I will walk in, mouth closed. I will walk in, look around, see what I want, blah blah blah, find some snacks, this and the other, and they're looking like on the camera and shit, like, yo, like, what do I do, son? Like, I see what this is, yo. It's because of my colors, because of the way I look, it's my hair, all that. I see that, Well, once I approach them at the counter and I start talking to them and make that exchange, their demeanor changes. The same thing happens whenever I get pulled over. That cop calms down, because I know how to address people. I know how to talk to people. It's at the human level, yo. And it's because this thing is pushed in to our brains, because of media, because of these fucking crooked politics, that when these types of things happen, like, for instance, for me, when I'm talking to the Asian person behind the counter and they're looking at me like, oh, this dude's about to do something. He might be acting like, oh, he's looking for something, but he's going to stuff something. They're going to have that at you first. Then when you're approaching, you're human with them. That they relax. The energy changes. Like, oh shit. In their head, they're fucked up, because first of all, you just killed them. You killed their prejudice with kindness. Now you're both at equal level. Now they see you because you're being human with them. Same thing every time I get pulled over. I'm like, yo. Not to say I get pulled over all the time. When I do get pulled over, it's usually my fault. But I'm saying, when these things happen, all you gotta do is. But you know what we do instead, because of what's being pushed on us? Because of the mind control? Every time we see it, every time we see the hint of prejudice, we want to get loud and elevate the situation when it doesn't have to be. That's why a lot of us get killed when we get pulled over. That's why they want to pull out the shotty once we had that exchange at the convenience store or something, because we got loud, and based on what they've seen on TV, in the movies, of how we act, because they always portray us as some criminal. Remember that? They always portray us as some criminal, especially the darkies, right? When they see that, that's what they'll see. So when that's gonna trigger them, once we get loud, and we're loud because of the shit they're saying about people that are not us. That's systematic racism. What you're viewing all the time on the fucking TV, on the news and the movies and all that shit. That's what it is. It ain't just every cop you see or every white person you see, they look down on you and shit like that. It's the same shit. Like, yo. All right. Anyway, moving on. What's the next retarded thing he said? Let's see. Him telling the Proud Boys to stand by isn't enough. Yo, so my response to the Proud Boys thing was, let's see, ruined black man, nuclear family, Biden, blah blah blah. We already know this. I talked about this. Y'all can read this and just tell me if you agree or disagree with what I said. But the point I'm making, I'm just addressing these so-called points. So, which was the one you said? Oh yeah, the Proud Boys. Okay, yeah, so the Proud Boys one. I said I'm not arguing that anymore, because I've had that argument with people on this plenty of times. And I said, I've had to, you know what I did? I just sent the video, the Joe Rogan interview with, who was he talking to? When they were talking about the origins of the Proud Boys. Was it? No, it wasn't Bill Burr. Anyway, they're discussing the origins of the Proud Boys. For anybody who doesn't know, just research the shit. All right, that's what I basically told them. Research the Proud Boys, what they're about, how they started. They started off as a joke, as some little club for men that hung out at a bar. Then it evolved into an alt-right thing because people from the alt-right and racists were starting to get in. Then they got a new leader now who cleaned it up, and now they vet everyone. So when people like Antifa and Black Lives Matter start attacking motherfuckers, they'll be like, nah, we got this. We're protecting the hood. We're protecting the businesses, shit like that. That's what it's become. But all they think, because of what the news and the media says, is the alt-right shit. Nobody talks about how it got cleaned up. Nobody's sharing the videos of interviews with the leader and the members. It's very diverse as well, but it's all white guys and white supremacists and modern KKK. Oh, okay. And you want to point to everybody else's KKK, but you're in the party that originated the KKK. But it's all right. It's all right. In Essential Part 5, you also mentioned that. And what? Well, first of all, Trump had nothing to do with that. He just said some shit. He had his opinion on it. And another thing about Central Part 5, they weren't angels, okay? They weren't angels. They were innocent of that crime, but what were they up to that night? Let's think about that. Fucking asshole, yo. I love when they do this, yo. They try to pull up I notice every time, this is why I don't argue with them anymore, because every time they bring something, it's never solid. It's never solid. I'm always able, or anyone else is always able to debunk it. Like there's an answer to everything you address when it comes to Trump. This is like, why do you guys have to make me defend this dude? I don't know this guy. But every time I defend him, like the perspective is that I bend the knee to him. But I'm like, no, I'm about truth and like making sense. Okay? This doesn't make sense. And despite everything, think about this, despite everything this guy is bringing up here, please read it, because I'm not reading all of this. I don't want to make this video too long, so I'll just try to let's make sure it's his shit you're reading, so you see how retarded he is. But where was I? Like, despite everything these people bring up in, attacking you for either supporting Trump or going after Biden and the left and Obama and stuff like that, despite all that shit, when you put it on, let's pretend what they say about Trump is legit and real and racist. Let's put it on the scales of justice. Who, especially when it comes to black people, who the fuck are the bad guys here? Okay, if you have to choose between the two, who's more guilty? Not saying Trump is guilty. I don't think he is of this shit, but I'm saying let's try to say, that what they're saying is right, even though who's guilty? Who's worth voting for next time? Because based on everything Trump the so-called racist has done so far, we've been thriving until COVID hit, right? Based on everything. But yet, this cunt, Harris, locking up men and laughing about it every time it's brought up. This motherfucker Biden and all that shit with his son and things of that nature. Plus, his veneration of that Ku Klux Klan leader. Y'all have to look it up. I'm not doing that right now. But look, Bird. Damn. Not only that, he was mentored by these people. Not only that, like I said earlier, his family owned slaves. Not only that, the crime bill, who's fucked up black people for decades. Remember the 47 year shit that they were talking about? That's what it is. We've been in turmoil because of that motherfucker, right? What did Trump do to us? Let's go before Trump's election and after. What happened to us? What did he do? that was my question in the beginning. Compared to these motherfuckers, what? Then this guy wants to, the funny part, I love when they do this. They try to win sympathy points. See if I got, let's see. And when the sympathy points don't work, they love to insult you. All right. I'm letting you guys read this because I'm not going through all of this. I'm just pointing out just the fuckery of these people, the zone that like these people are gone. All right. Because I think at one point you started bringing up this. Oh yeah, there it is. I'm a farther. I love when these people say that. You sound like last time I heard that was from what do you call it? Hebrew Israelite. Farther. I'm a farther first, and I have children. I see clearly what Trump is doing. Do you? You haven't shown me at all. But okay, you haven't proven. I've been proving shit from the other side, the side you're on, their corruption and their shit that they've done to us. But you haven't at all. Nothing you said holds water at all. Everything you said, and I love it, everything these people say about Trump is what the media says. Nothing that he discovered on his own, nothing he looked up, no article, so not an obscure article that was pushed out of the way for propaganda and stuff like that should be out. No. It's everything the celebrities say, that the news says, that the movies say, that the comedians say, the left-leaning comedians say. That's what I hear from this dude. Me, everything I put out is what I looked up and what truth seekers have brought forth. And what you can find on your own if you research this. Look, straight up, look up everything you can about Trump. Everything, yo. Comb over the motherfucker's life. But also do the same for everybody on the left. That's why I say, you can hate Trump all you want. That does not bother me. But I will never take you seriously if you only hate Trump. If you choose the worst evil over him, how the fuck can I take you seriously? How can I? How does it make sense? I'm a father and I have children. And I see clearly what Trump is doing. All politicians, panders. He's right about that. He's right about that. Kamala Harris and the Tims and lying about rappers and shit like that. Yeah, and acting like she's black when she isn't. She's full on Indian. Anyway, let's see. Pandering to groups and Americans, empowering them, designing our heritage and teaching, calling it racist while acting like and stating the system is not broken. And dude, the things this guy's complaining about is exactly what the left does, but he's saying it's Trump. That's funny. Yeah, act like this guy's saying things like he's acting like he's independent by saying shit like this. I'm the fucking independent, yo. Cause straight up and down, yo, I'm not a Republican, straight up. Because they have their problems too. Because they act like leftists when it comes to Trump. Like they're not satanic or evil like leftists are. But they have this whole hero worship thing with Trump that I'm not down with. And they'll defend him to the teeth, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo. Anyway. So you're sitting up there talking about drones. Using my words. And nothing but being a coon. There it is. So sympathy points. This is what they do. The sympathy point, I'm a father, blah, 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 and I don't want him growing up in the shit. Then, coon. Now, in my response to him, there was no attack. No insults. The hardest word I used was drone. But I didn't even direct this at him or say his name. So maybe he's a bit guilty. Triggered. You don't get triggered unless you're guilty about something when somebody speaks the truth. Right? That's why I'm laughing through the whole thing, because I don't get angry at this. This shit is hilarious. Because I don't know whether to be scared of these people or to laugh, because it's scary. Because these people will fuck up the country because of their way of thinking or lack of thinking because they're drones. Or you laugh at the stupidity, because that's what I do. I'm like, yo, this shit's funny. Like, this cannot be real. I have to question reality when these people like argue and get mad at me, because I'm like, did it take 4 years for people to just go insane? Like, this TDS thing is completely real. It took 4 years for everybody to get it. It's crazy. And like, these people will have him living rent free in his head, this orange man. And I'm like, yo, what is happening? Right? Then he wants to come up and call me a coon. I didn't say anything to this dude, yo. And remember, I had respect for this guy. Like, I really liked him. Yo, he was cool. He was a cool teacher. You know when you have that young hip teacher, especially in high school, it was fucking awesome, yo. And we were both both nerds, so we had exchange and shit about this stuff, especially Transformers, because I'm a huge Transformers fan. Dude gifted me like a whole thing of burned CDs of all the episodes from every Japanese series, yo. So to see this, I'm like, yo, TDS got him, son. Shit, not you. That's what I'm saying, son. Because yo, heritage teacher, the future of my children, blah blah blah, sympathy points, and yeah, shouting obscenities, and now he's blaming the Trump crowd. Like, yeah, first of all, you don't know. Look, you're not in the know. Like, a lot of these people that want to argue with you, they're not in the know. There you go. They're not in the know when it comes to who's behind all this, who's doing this, when it comes to the riots and things of that nature. Because there will be, like, straight up and down, I'm just gonna make it clear that I know that BLM is a George Soros satanic organization. I know that, trust me. But I also do know that people who champion Black Lives Matter on the civilian level don't know that about them. So they'll say Black Lives Matter and chant it, but they're legitimately trying to protest peacefully. I know that. But what people like this man here and others that want to argue with you don't know is that they send in agents. And it's funny how they're all white agents to come in and fuck it all up for you and make it violent to further divide us. And I try to understand, like, why these, and I remember one time having an argument with somebody. They were talking about, because I was saying, like, I don't get it. If you guys are about Black Lives Matter and this, that, and the other, why you, like, this is not me being racist, okay? I'm just saying. My example was, why is it that every race, when they have a problem, they aren't racist on their own, they're not racist, but when they have a problem with the establishment and stuff like that, they do it, they keep it in-house and deal with it on their own, like the Chinese or the Japanese or the Native American, stuff like that. They do it, they come together amongst themselves. Not saying that the like all white people are racist, shit like that, or we're not, they just don't allow the outside in because they don't want to take chances. This is their problem, so they have to band together, keep it in-house, and battle the problem, battle the establishment, that battle the actual racists. Why don't we do that? This was my thing. I was like, why do we always have to invite white people in everything we do? They could talk about it, they could be on our side, but when we're marching and shit, like, stay home, because we can't take that risk. We can't take the risk of an actual racist acting like you're an ally. I know you're an ally, but yo, anybody could slip up in there. And it's the same thing that happened with the Proud Boys. When they started off as legit, then all these alt-right dudes started coming up and starting in trouble. Now they have a bad name. Same shit, right? That's why I say, like, yo, even I don't care if there's a legit level of Black Lives Matter protesters. That name, there's energy behind it. So you're gonna feed that energy. You're inviting the shit in. You're allowing the shit in. So you're giving power to this, because this is ancient. I already put out a video on it. Look for it in my conspiracy realist playlist. It's a tinfoil hat episode with Bishop Larry Gators, where he basically breaks it down. Because like, words are powerful. You understand? They have power. And saying BLM and Black Lives Matter, there's something to it. So even if you're being legit, you're feeding the Soros thing, even if you don't have anything to do with it. But moving on, I'm trying to say, like, straight up, when you have, like, yo, why do you have to invite these people? Why do you take that chance? Why can't you leave it in the house? This is what Malcolm X was saying. Like, why do these white people have to always jump in our shit? Why do they fund this shit? Why do they start this shit and just put a black guy in front of it and say it's his? Why don't we 100% money and in creation? Why isn't it all black? Because I can guarantee if we did it ourselves, none of this bullshit will happen. None of this rioting will happen. There will be a scuffle here and there, but none of this will happen. Because who's throwing the first bricks? Who's breaking these stores down? It's the white guy first. If not, it's the fucking savage black man who's far gone. You understand? I hope you know where I'm coming from. I'm not fucking being racist here, but I'm just saying this is how it goes. Because if you just look at all these videos. Who's the first one? And they're all who are these people? It's nary a time, yo, you see the black guy throwing the first stone. But they'll join in afterwards like fucking retards. Right? Like, you don't see these are Soros agents? Like, they got paid. You didn't see the Craigslist ads that's been reported? You didn't see that thing with the van pulled up with all the weaponry and shit? They're getting paid by the same people who pay the cops to kill us. When we have those convenient stories of us getting killed by a cop. Not a random story. Those are legit. Sometimes, if it ain't, a numbers game. But straight up and down, none of them, they don't know these things. I can't really get mad at these people, but if I start putting these things out there, like, before you get mad at me, especially a fellow black man, maybe you should consider, because I know for a fact that before Trump was elected, I'm sure you would have looked it up if I said these things. But because after he's elected and they've already indoctrinated you that this man is a racist and he's like destroying us, although we've been doing better since he's been here, you're not looking shit up at all. You're just mad at me. Why aren't you looking it up? Why is your first reaction to get mad at me and start calling me coon and all this shit? Like, who's the real coon here, though? Who's the real coon when you're actually voting in slave masters, descendants of slave masters? You're actually actively voting in for the sake of a man that they told you to hate. I'm the coon. I'm the bad guy. I'm the race traitor. I'm like, yo, this is why I'm independent, son, because I remember the right was doing some crazy shit too, yo. I remember those days when I was growing up. That's why I was like, yo, who's the good guy here? And you see my first walkaway video, I came into this like not looking at any of them as a bad guy at all. I saw the Democrats as hit people, the cool ones who wanted progress, and shit like that. And the Republicans were the good guys too, but they're like the boring old people, the church people and shit like that. But I never saw any of them as like the bad guys. That when you go down that rabbit hole and you see what's really going on, and you see that, that the Democrats are actually the bad guys in the story the whole time. And you realize that blacks were the ones that started the fucking Republican Party anyway, which is why they wanted to end slavery. This is why they wanted to end Jim Crow. If not in those times of Jim Crow, they weren't black men at the time. It was like a good mix, or white people still that party. They kept that train going of stopping this bullshit when it came to oppressing people of color. But I'm the coon here for pointing this out, telling real history outside of what they taught us in school. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's the teacher sticking to the curriculum. Maybe that's it. Although that wasn't his subject. Maybe it's a teacher thing. I don't know. But yo, yeah, man, arguing with leftists, son. This is what happens. This bullshit. This is the bullshit that happens, yo. They want to fight, and this had nothing. The worst part is what I posted had nothing to really do. Like, my point had nothing to do with Trump or anything. Like, it was really about censorship and what side is doing it, and I just showed proof of it. I showed that, like, right here is when they deleted it, and then when I responded, can it show? No, this is a snapshot of the result. So right here is when I said, no, I'm fighting this, blah, blah, blah. And then they've, sorry, we got this wrong, blah, blah, blah. I'm wondering if it's because they knew they're about to go to court about the story in particular, or they realize I was black and I might say some shit. I don't know, because they are leftists, so they'll go there. You know, they'll be afraid of me in that sense. So who knows? But yeah, that's weird. I was just proving a point of censorship. That was the whole point, which side is doing it. Because in my comment on this post, I was just talking about who's doing this. There's always the left that's censoring shit. And it's weird that with me being an independent, speaking truth of because I get the outside view, I get to look from the outside in. I have no affiliation with any party. So when I look at who's doing this, and I can see, oh shit, they're the bad guys this time. It's them, they're doing it. They are Silicon Valley and all that shit. They're the leftists. They're the cities that are fucked up. I remember I moved to LA, and I've been there for 8 years. The first 3 was awesome. Then from the 4th to the 8th, like, it was like, what the fuck? Homelessness got worse and shit. Like, it's like MS-13 started to fill back up and shit. Like, yeah, yo. And I remember, like, I did move into a nanny state. I did move into, you know, a leftist state. So I lived it. And plus, I'm originally from New York, so I saw this shit coming. That's why I left. But I was saying, at least they're laid back in LA. And when I got there, it was not bad at all. Like, this shit was just limited to, like, Skid Row at the time. Now it's, like, all over the place. Even rich people are complaining. They gotta run away from it and move to, like, fucking Texas and shit, right? It's like, yo, so this is proof. This shit's building up. And you can see it with your own eyes. Like, you don't need the news to tell you this. You just go or talk to people who experience it. You know? And you see it. So I share these things just to inform people. I don't share these things to argue. I share to inform. I like helping people. I like, you know, when I see when I see falsehoods, I'm like, nah, I gotta say something. This doesn't make sense, and it's gonna cause somebody to do the wrong thing thinking they're doing the right thing. So let me set the record straight, and hopefully they'll look it up and verify. But a lot of them don't. That's the problem. Like, I could say all the shit I want, but no one will look up what I'm saying. Like, yo, at least look up what I'm saying to prove me wrong, because I'll be glad for that too. Because if you correct me, I will know not to repeat some bullshit. I learn. You learn. We both win. But they don't even, that thought doesn't even enter their mind. Their first reaction is, I'm gonna fucking fight you. You're hurting me. You're triggering me by telling the truth. Adults, dude. These are adults. These are adults, son. And it's worse when they're older than me, because I'm an adult. way into it. But these people are supposed to be older and wiser than me, and this is how they're acting. But something I didn't call no names. This guy jumped on. A teacher jumped onto my shit. The only one I argued to, because it's funny. I made it clear that I'm not arguing with anyone. Whatever I post, just look it up. Don't argue. Just look it up and see for yourself. And the people who find the that actually look up the information, they don't even reply on the comment. The least they'll do is probably like it. But what they do is they'll hit me up on Messenger, private, DMs if it's Instagram, DMs if it's Twitter, because they don't want anyone seeing that their eyes have been opened, or they verified what I said and that what I'm saying is true, because they know they're gonna start getting backlash from family members and friends and shit like that. Me personally, I could lose every fucking body. I could lose everybody I know. I'm good. Cause I'm the truth alone, is my comfort, is my companion. I'm good. Cause why would you wanna, why would I be concerned about losing somebody who thinks this way? Why would I be concerned about that person? That's a dangerous thing to have that person in your life. That's toxic. That'll fuck up your life. Why change who you are for them? Why keep your mouth shut for them? It doesn't make sense. I never understood that. I remember the first time I've seen this and I've experienced it was when Trump won, and I was sharing posts, and when Trump won, I was barely championing him. I was celebrating Hillary's loss, really and truly, because I know this guy has been, everything that he was saying in the campaign trail, he's been saying for years before. But I also knew he was basically a celebrity, so it could be, who knows? This could be a game, blah, blah, blah. But I knew that's just conjecture. I don't know yet. But I knew for a fact what Hillary did. I knew for a fact what she did. I knew for a fact of the pandering. I never seen Trump pander at all. But I seen her pander. Hot sauce and on the Breakfast Club, and they all laughing about it. I'm like, yo, that cannot run us. We can't allow that to run us, especially black people. So I was celebrating that. So, for instance, I started sharing stuff like, when Trump was on The Apprentice. Remember, he used to say the line, "You're fired." So there was a meme of him saying, "You're fired," but it said, "Hillary, you're fired." So I started posting stuff like that because, she's done, son. The same one that said that and I made fun of the fact that during the debate she was like, if Trump won, she'd accept it, but she didn't. She started a whole recount shit. I'll share stuff like that. It wasn't pro-Trump shit, because I don't really post pro-Trump stuff. Like, now I do, because I'm like, straight up don't want people I don't want the woman whose great-great-grandparents held my people as slaves. Straight up. Again, I'm half Jamaican. Her people held my people as slaves in Jamaica. Alright? Not only that, she does that for a living. She did that for a living. And she's pretending to be black. That's scary. So, again, why would I be afraid of people who want this, especially other West Indians still voting for this? Why would I want them in my life? Why would I be afraid to say what I'm saying now? Doesn't make sense. So, so here we are. So I don't argue with these people. I'm saying right now, like, I'm gonna tell you, don't waste your time arguing with these people. That's why I cut it short. Like, straight up in this, I said, I had to remind him. I said, I don't know if you missed it. But I don't argue. Pull a bitch move. Blah blah blah. Damn, I don't remember where it is. I don't know if it was this one or the earlier one. But anyway, I said, I don't know if you missed the previous post, but I don't argue with people anymore. So then I asked him straight up and down, please don't respond to this. Oh, there it is. I don't pull a bitch move and continue arguing on here after I said not to. Like, anything you need to know, there's no point. And I also refer to the fact that my YouTube channel link is on my Facebook page, so it's right there. So if you want to know what I'm saying, and I basically advertise my shit on my Facebook so people can go there, and I basically say it in every post so people don't bother arguing with me. And here's another thing that I find interesting. This reminds me, when people post things on Facebook that's anti-Trump, I give zero fucks. Like, I just keep scrolling. Even if it's bullshit, I just keep scrolling. The only time I may say something is if it's like if I know it's completely false and they're scaring my other friends with falsehoods that he may do this, that, and the other. And I'm like, oh, you could make fun of him all you want. You could hate this policy all you want. That's fine, yo. That's completely fine. But don't put bullshit out there to fuck with people I know. To have people voting for these motherfuckers. These actual racists. Because you spread some bullshit. So, like I said, I'm about truth. It's not about him. It's about the truth. That's the only time I'll say something outside it. But other than that, I just keep scrolling because I've seen some crazy shit. And there are things that they made fun of Trump over and I fucking belly laughed, yo. Because everybody's fair game. Everybody's fair game. But they can't see it that way. Everybody's one-sided. I can't live like that. I can't do that. So yeah, I said I have a YouTube channel. Just don't pull a bitch move and continue arguing with me. Please. I hope you at least have self-control. And this was his response. Then he gave me the whole bullshit, I'm a father, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I said, don't do that, right? I said, don't do that. Like, what the fuck? You're supposed to be an adult here. I asked you. He came to me, remember? I didn't go to his, because if I go to his shit and I ask him not to argue, he has every right to continue. It's his profile. It's his story. It's his timeline. You have every right to fucking reply or say whatever the fuck you want to say about me or to me. But if you come to me and I ask you, like, don't do that, straight up, and you want to keep doing it, well, after you did that, I said, I knew you couldn't help yourself. I deal with people like you on a regular basis. Usually it's on, it's trolls on YouTube or Twitter. Because I know they can't help themselves. I know they cannot help them. That's why I said it. I said, I bet. That's how I knew I was gonna. I said, this is how this whole video came to mind. I said to myself, okay, if he can't show self-control, after I wrote this, after I said not to, I said, don't pull a bitch move and continue arguing. Once I wrote this, I said in my head, I said, if this motherfucker replies and starts saying shit, I'm going to make a video about this, because these are people that you have to stay away from. These are people that will fuck you over. They smile at you one time, then once they disagree with you, yeah, that's cause for fucking a backstabbing. Straight up. So this is it. So here, I said, I knew you couldn't help yourself. I deal with people like him and it's predictable. Like I said, I knew he was gonna do it. And I said, that's why I said, thanks for the content. Because I said, before he responded, I said, I'm gonna make a video if he responds. And that's exactly what he did. So he basically asked for this. Because I'm like, straight up, people like this are toxic. I don't care at this point. Because, like they say, we're in a spiritual war. These people, it's gone. It's gone. Because here's the thing. People who are truly good, righteous, and spiritual are not led by their emotions. They have control over it. They don't get triggered by an opinion. The first thing they'll use logic. Logic is not a bad thing. That's a spiritual thing because it's discipline. You know where to channel your energy. You know that when you get angry at somebody who hurts you or the ones that you love or threatens your life. That's where your anger is supposed to be directed, not at an insult to you. If somebody says something to you out of turn, you should know, okay, it hurt. You know, it hurt, but do I have to kick your ass for that? No. But if you threaten or you draw first blood, that's when the anger is supposed to kick in. So you have that an advantage to make sure that guy's done. Same thing with love. You cannot just be emotional every time you see a fucking gorgeous woman. Like, you're gonna fuck everything you see, and then you make that mistake. You know the whole drama and shit like that. You don't want that. You want to make sure that you pick the right person. Think logically. Is this person right for you? These people's this is a spiritual war. They cannot see what's right in their faces. The truth is in their faces. This is the thing about evil. They have to tell you somewhere or the other. That's why these things are out about them. The proof is out there, and all they can do is laugh about it because they know they got you. They know they got you. This is a spiritual war, and these people are dark. These people are on the dark side. They're on the left. That's why there's the left hand and the right hand. But I cannot be on the extremes. But I do know for a fact that on the left side is pure evil. If you're on the left side spiritually, cut them out of your life. These are the emotional motherfuckers. These are the emotional motherfuckers, yo. But if you're righteous, you will have the logic. You will be able to control yourself and be like, you know what? I don't like this motherfucker Trump, but is this true about these other two? I'm gonna vote. I already voted for them, but is this true? Because when the news says something about Trump, you don't question it. You're like, yeah, he's racist. Although he was cool when he was on Fresh Prince and you call it Home Alone and shit like that, and pop up in radio interviews of your favorite hip hop stations and stuff like that. That was okay, but when the news said so, okay. But when I talk about revealed truth about the left candidates, you're hurt and you want to call me coon. You see what I'm saying? Left. Think about that. All right? And the reason why I can't be on the right, even though the right is the right hand path, there are extremes because there's also the alt-right and shit like that. So and when it comes to the political spectrum, you can't really do that. That's why I'm like, I want to be independent, but I will never, keep in mind, I'm independent, but the left will never get my support. Evil is cut off here. There is no left hand for me. There's no left for me. There is no Democrat for me. If I have to vote, it will be on the right. But I'll always be an independent because I'm going to be checking these motherfuckers because there are rhinos amongst them. You know, the swamp was not, when Trump said drain the swamp, he wasn't just talking about the left. He's talking about the rhinos, the infiltrators, the corrupt right. So let's stop playing games here, yo. Like, these people are spiritually dead. Because straight up, I thought you was smarter than this. You want to come fuck with me? I didn't say your name. Why are you guilty? Why you don't come up and call me a fucking coon? I said drone, and what? I didn't say your name. I didn't say your name. I just said drones, and it's true. It is true. This is drone mentality. But you want to try to turn it's funny, you try to turn it around, make it seem like I'm the drone, and make fun of the fact that I use the word free thinker. Yeah, I'm a free thinker. I'm thinking outside the box. I'm looking from the outside in. I'm seeing what's wrong, what's right, and I'm pointing them out. What's wrong with that, son? Is that not what a free thinker is? So, And I've heard, I could say shit about this dude that I could say shit, but I don't go there because I don't personally go after people like this because that's their game. This is a leftist game. But let him, you know what? No, I can't say let him because you know what's funny? This is a habit I've noticed. Once you defeat them in an argument, they tend to unfollow or unfriend. So right after the argument, I was like, I wonder if this hurt so much that he unfriended me. I checked that day he was still a friend, and I think I checked the next day he was still a friend. I think at night later on or something, or maybe the day after, he unfriended me, son. I think he got. I think he started. You know what? I think he started monitoring the things, because I kept showing shit like this, especially the Biden shit. I kept sharing this shit. Kept sharing. He must have got. He couldn't help. I'm guessing here. Let it be known. I'm guessing here that he probably couldn't help himself. He kept checking and started scrolling shit and kept getting hurt by the truth. That he finally gave up and unfriended, or that maybe he's afraid of what will be seen here by his peers. Who knows? For all I know, he's probably telling other people to unfollow me or something. But like I said, I don't care, yo. This is great. This is me winning here. This is me defeating evil here. This is me keeping the drones outside. And I implore people, whoever's watching this, whoever's open-minded, who's not a fucking troll or anything like that, like, yo, I understand that you're caring people and you're righteous people. I understand the pain of losing people, but you need to just be able to say, you know what, I can't. Like, I have myself and those I hold dear who do not think like this, who are not going against my best interest and my people's best interest. I have to keep you at bay. I have to cut you out, because you're party to trying to vote these people in. You're party to this country losing our freedoms and what we have, because we're seeing it with the COVID. We're saying yes to these motherfuckers for something that holds no water to H1N1, right? People are getting diagnosed all the time. Majority of them are either asymptomatic or they get sick and beat it. You understand? If you see the states and the numbers of deaths compared to diagnosis is higher, but deaths are lower. And we're still saying yes to this. You understand? So if you're going to say yes to this, right? You're saying yes to these evil motherfuckers implementing it. Imagine what they'll do if they could control it. Imagine what they'll do to us. Look at their history. So I'm telling you, keep these people out of your life. You know, maybe they'll wake up after they see the change. I'm really praying Trump wins, because I don't want to lose any of this freedom. But son, if he doesn't win, I'm ready for the revolution. I'm saying that right now. I'm ready for the revolution, because I will not lose my freedom. And I'll remember every motherfucker who voted the enemy in. Okay? And keep in mind, if I found something on Trump, that was at this level of evil, straight up I'll be saying the same thing about him. But because I don't see that, I don't find that, like, how could I lie? How could I say that? I am not the news. I'm not gonna bullshit and say just because I don't like the guy, he's racist, or we'll be in trouble if he wins again. What? I just hope people can see this and understand, because this is insanity, what happened here and what happens all the time to me. I just had to, it's because of the respect I have for this guy. It just prompted me to say something, because this was crazy. This was crazy. And I've had crazy arguments before, but I ended them. I never thought I'd have to make another arguing with a leftist video. I was done. I made my points already. But this was something else, yo. And what I'm seeing, like, I remember there's this post on Twitter where somebody said he was talking to a black man on the street who said to him that what Joe Biden did to our people is unforgivable, but I'm still going to vote him in. So I'm like, is this real life, son? You know, how could you not cut these people off? They're gonna kill you. They will kill you. They will betray you. So be careful, yo. I know there are good people who don't want to do this and feel like shit for doing it, for ignoring people that like you. It's all about righteousness, man. It's all about being good, because this right here is just pure evil. It's pure evil. You cannot know the corruption going on this side and the detriment of black lives for decades because of this party and because of this man, and still want the same people. There's no, it doesn't make sense. So I ended there, man. Yo, I'm sorry this was so long. Oh man, but this was so insane. Yeah, I had to talk about it. Anyway, please, if it's the first time seeing my channel, subscribe. I have more to come. If you could donate to support my channel, just page and stuff like that. So yeah, man. Good luck out there. Cheers.